are going to need a power circle if you have one, which I understand a lot of people probably don't have a power circle. The other thing you can use is a yoga strap. So like it's like the thing that you hold your mat with, like this. It doesn't need to actually be a real yoga strap. Or if you don't have this, that's okay too. You can just use either a gym towel, like a or like a dish towel, or you can use a t-shirt. Okay. If you're using a t-shirt, I would not recommend one that you like that are okay, like aren't okay with getting wrinkled. Okay. So it's going to be like kind of more of a sleep shirt. I'll just wait a few more minutes for some people to trickle in. If you have everything that I'm saying right now, you power circle. All right, and let's go ahead and we can get started in just one more minute. All right, so you guys, we're gonna have to get started standing today. So we're going to stand all the way up. And then we don't need that circle or that shirt that I was telling you about yet. All right, so we're just gonna start standing. We're going to be standing hip distance apart from feet all the way right underneath the hips. And then good morning if you guys are just tuning in. If you guys are just coming in, we do need either a circle, the power circle, which I understand a lot of people don't have it, a band, or just some kind of t-shirt you can be able to pull apart throughout something, okay? And I don't want you actually having an elastic band, okay? So I don't want you using an elastic band, but if you have kind of a strong strap, that's what I'd rather have you guys have, or the power circle. If you have the power circle, that's what I prefer you guys to be using. But of course, I understand everybody has it. By the way, they are very cheap on Amazon, like 20 bucks. All right, so we're gonna be standing, feet right underneath our hips. All we're going to do is move our toes out to the sides. Then I just want you to pull them back into parallel. Then pause there for a second. Okay, so I want you to keep going just like that. All you're doing is externally rotating your toes out to the sides, then pulling them back into parallel. Okay, so just toes go out to the sides, then back into parallel. So we're standing up, toes externally rotate to the sides, back to center. Let's just do that 2 more times. So toes go out to the sides, then back in. This kind of feels a little bit better if you're not on your mat. I know I'm standing on my mat right now. It's rubbing my heels a little bit. So if you want to move off of your mat, it kind of feels a little bit better. Okay, so toes are just going to move out and back to center. And I know you guys can't see my toes. I'm going to move this down just a little bit. Good. All right, so toes out, back to center. Let's just do that 1 more time. So as we move them out, I want you using your inner thighs in order to wrap your legs around the outsides. We're also using our glutes. Now I want you to remain in parallel, okay? So stay in parallel. And now we're using the ground to help us to be able to externally rotate our legs just a little bit more, then relax them back into center. Okay, so again, externally rotate the legs, wrap them around and out to the sides, then relax back into center. And let's do that 2 more times. Slightly externally rotate your legs, but without moving your feet, okay? So our feet are not moving right now. Our feet stay in parallel this whole time. We're just wrapping those inner thighs around to the sides. Then you just relax that wrap for a second. There we go, good. Let's do that 2 more times. Wrap the legs around the sides without actually moving anything. Then just 1 more time. externally rotating, wrapping those legs around, then relax back to center. Good. All right. We're going to lie all the way down now. We're going to lie down or back. For those of you that we are circle today, power circle. And if you don't have a power circle, that's okay. Okay. What we can use instead is either yoga mat strap, something that like holds our mat together, or you can use a t-shirt or a gym towel is totally fine. If you have a t-shirt though, make sure it's one you're okay with getting a little bit wrinkled before you do the laundry today, okay? All right, we're not going to use it just yet either, okay? You're gonna put any of those multitude of things down to the side for a second, okay? So we're gonna put it all the way down and we're just going to lie flat down. My knees are bent, my feet are flat onto the mat. My hands are just going to go onto my rib cage, and we're just going to start with breathing like how we normally do, okay? So I want you to put your hands on your ribs, and I want you to be able to feel your rib cage moving, okay? So I want you to take a deep breath in, feel your ribs move out into your hands, and as you exhale, I want you to be able to feel your ribs kind of pulling more in towards your body, okay? Every single time. Keep breathing right here, okay? So keep moving the rib cage. Keep moving the chest up and then down with every full and complete exhale. And I want you to check in with your tailbone. Can you make sure that your tailbone is long across the mat? We're in that neutral spine. We're not tucking our tailbone in towards you. Make sure that we maintain that length, okay? Let's just do a couple more deep breaths. In through your nose, deep breath all the way in. And long, full and complete exhale all the way out through your ribs. And when you exhale the air out, I want you to try to get every single last drop of air out from your ribs, out from your lungs right here, okay? We call that a knitting of our ribs, okay? We want to keep knitting feeling of our ribs. Okay. Now my hands are going to go actively down onto the mat. And what that means is I want your palms, your triceps, back of your upper arm bones, actively into the floor without allowing our chest to pop up. I don't want your chest popping up. I don't want your ribs pulling up. I want you to pull your ribs down with your body, pull your ribs in, drop your belly button down to your spine. And now all I'm going to do is extend my right leg straight out across the mat right here. Okay, so it's going to drag across the mat, extend it all the way straight. And I want you to feel what's going on in your hips. Keep your hips even. Now drag your heel back across the mat lightly. Where we started and switch sides. Left leg is going to go straight out in space. Now, as you do this, I want you just to think about nothing else in your body is moving. Everything else is staying nice and quiet as we do this, okay? So just one leg, one leg extends straight, and then you just bend it. Now keep alternating sides. And I want you to keep thinking about as we do this, that we're not rocking, we're not tipping from side to side as we do this. Now, can you also think about as we keep doing this, our inner thighs are starting to pull together right here, okay? I don't want them actually touching. I don't want your knees. I don't want your thighs touching. I just want them pulling towards one another. You are starting to create that resistance within your own body as we do this. Extend out, then pull all the way back in it. And let's just do that 2 more times. Out and then in. Now that external rotation that we talked about at the very beginning when we were standing and we tried to get kind of those side glutes fired up, I want you to keep using those. I want you to use that external rotation right here that you're creating within your body. We're not literally externally rotating our knees, but we're staying in parallel. We're just using that resistance. Now pause with both knees bent again. Hold right there. You're going to pick your right knee up into tabletop. Hold it there for a second. Now I want you to think about that pull in from your low belly, that knit in from your ribs. We're not tucking the tailbone. You keep that spine in neutral. You flex your right heel. I want you to inhale as you lower it down to the mat. Exhale, pick it right back up and into tabletop. Now keep going right here, okay? So this shouldn't feel like a ton of work right here, but I want you to try to create more work within your own body. I want you to try to create more resistance within your own body as we're lowering and as we're lifting. Let's do 2 more like this. Down and up. Last time, are you still actively pressing your palms and triceps down into that mat? Pause with your knee up into tabletop. I want you to extend that right leg now, straight up to the ceiling. Good, then just bend it back down for a second. Good. Now I want your hands to go behind your right thigh. And I want you to do the same thing. Just extend that leg up, bend it down. Let's just do 2 more like this. All the way up there. Bend it. One more time. Lift it. Pause with it in tabletop. My hands go back down onto the mat on either side of me. Again, I'm actively pressing them down. I'm reaching my fingertips towards my heels by sliding my shoulder blades down my back. I extend my right leg now up to the ceiling. It's okay if it doesn't get all the way straight if you're tight. And I want you to lower it down so that it's hovered across the mat. And then I want you to bend it back into tabletop. And again, extend it up to the ceiling. Lower it down. Bend it back in. Keep on going, and I want you to think about where your hips are as we do this. Is there one side that's taking more weight onto the mat than the other side? Are you rocking as we do this? I don't want you to rock. I want you to think about lengthening your hip away from your pelvis, okay? So I keep reaching my thigh bone away and towards that wall as I lower. One more like this. In, up, lower, back into tabletop, reverse it. Extend that leg straight out. It's hovered across the mat. Exhale it up to the ceiling. Bend the knee into tabletop. And again, extend the leg out. Pick it up. Bend it in. Inhale as the leg goes straight. Exhale, I pick it up to the ceiling. And we do one more, okay? Out. Extend up. Bend back in. Lower your right leg back down to the mat. Now this left side, we're gonna do the same thing. Exhale, just pick the knee up into tabletop. I'm making a right angle with my shin bone, my thigh bone. I lower the foot down to the mat. I inhale and I exhale to pick it back up and into tabletop. Good. Now again, lowering and lifting. Now again, can you try to create a little bit more resistance between your inner thighs right now? And in those side glutes, that glute medius. So if I just kind of, and everybody's different, everyone's body is gonna be different. If we allow ourselves to kind of not engage any muscle and think about our skeleton just working, we might hear those kind of clicks and pops in our hips a little bit. To get rid of that, we're trying to activate those muscles, those glutes out there to help us engage. Exhale to lift. Let's do 3 more. Down and up. 2 more. And now I'm not just clenching, okay? So I'm not clenching on my bottom. I'm not just squeezing my bottom for the sake of squeezing it. We're using that slight external rotation. Pause with the knee up into tabletop. Extend hands behind your left thigh now. And we're just going to do those nice extensions and bending of that knee. Okay, so we should just feel a nice stretch as we do this. Now it's okay if your leg does not go all the way straight right here. I know my left leg personally doesn't, and that's okay. Okay, we're just trying to stretch and warm up that hamstring. Now pause with the knee in tabletop. Hands go down either side of us. Fingertips, shoulder blades glide down my back. I extend my leg up to the ceiling as much as I can get it straight. Don't try to force it straight. You just lower your leg, hover it down on the mat down there, bend it back into your chest. Extend it up to the ceiling, lower it down, bend it back in. Now, as I keep doing this, again, can you try to think about the inner thighs pulling towards one another? Can you try to think about your low belly pulling up and in without rotating your pelvis towards you, okay? So pelvis maintains that neutral spine. 2 more. Up, lower, bend in. Last time. And reverse it. Straight out, hover it across the mat. Pick it up to the ceiling, bend it back into your chest, and extend out. Slightly externally rotate this leg from your upper thigh bone. I do not mean that the leg is in external rotation. You're just using those muscles. Up, bend in. 1 more time. Out, exhale, lift. Bend the knee. I want you to keep that left knee in tabletop. And you now pick your right knee up into tabletop. Again, my head is down for right now. We're going to change it in a second, okay? I want you to separate your knees and your ankles so that they're hip distance apart. I want you to extend your right leg now up to the ceiling, or as high as we can get it up to the ceiling without rotating your pelvis. Lower the leg, hover it down across the mat. Again, this should be harder. Bend the knee back and into your chest. Alternate, left leg up to the ceiling. Lower it down, hover it, bend it back into your chest. Now the lower my leg goes as you do this, the more difficult it's going to be, okay? So if you don't want to make it super difficult, just lower it down to the 45, then bend it back in. If you want to make it really hard, go all the way, hover down across that mat down there. You can also hold it for a split second, then bend it in. Inhale up, keep inhaling as you lower that leg, then exhale as it bends back and in towards your chest. Let's do 4 more. Up, keep thinking about all those things that we talked about earlier, okay? That slight external rotation of those legs and that reach away of my thigh bones, away and out of that pelvis. Now pause with the knees in tabletop. The hands are going to float behind your head. We're curled up looking into the belly button. Stay curled up. Extend your right leg up to the ceiling. We're doing the same thing. Lower it down to that 45. Bend it back into my chest. You exhale. Up with the leg. Lower it down. Reach it and bend it in. Lower and bend. Make sure that we keep those knees and those heels separate right here, okay? So they don't come together. Make sure that they stay equidistant. My knees aren't coming in further together than my ankles. And 2 more. Last one. Press the head down to the mat. Keep your knees in tabletop. Keep those knees over your hips right here. My fingertips are going to reach up to the ceiling. I lower my hands all the way down to my hips. I start pumping my arms for the 100. Deep breath all the way in. Long, full, and complete exhale. Keep those knees in tabletop. Extend your right leg up to the ceiling. Lower it down to the 45. Bend it back into your chest. Alternate legs. Left leg up to the ceiling. Lower it down. Bend it back in. Now I can start moving my legs together as they do this. My left leg extends up to the ceiling as my right leg is straight. Keep on going. If you'll notice, these are big bicycles, okay? But I want you to focus on doing these huge, big bicycles like this, not small ones out in space. Slow and big. Keep pumping. Keep breathing. Good. Pause with both knees in tabletop. Hug your knees into your chest. Rest your head for a second. Good. All right. Both knees are up into tabletop. Fingertips are up to the ceiling. So it's a fun kind of variation of our 100. We lower our arms back down to the mat, and we're doing it one more time, okay? Pump your arms. Deep breath all the way in. Long, full, and complete exhale. Now we're reversing it, okay? So my right leg goes straight out in space. Pick it up to the ceiling. Bend it back in. My left leg goes straight. Pick it up. Bend it in. Right leg out. Up to the ceiling. Bend it in. Left leg out. Pick it up to the ceiling. Bend it in. Now my right leg goes out. As I pick it up, my left leg extends straight. So start working together. Good. Keep breathing. Keep on pumping. Good. I know this is a little bit of a coordination challenge too, or at least it is to me right now. Keep pumping. Keep breathing. Let's do one more deep breath. Long exhale. Hug the knees into your chest and rest down for a second. I'm just laughing because that was really bad for me coordination-wise. All right, my legs are going to go long in space. My fingertips are up to the ceiling. I'm going to reach my fingertips up and overhead. And as I exhale, I curl up into my belly button and I round all the way up to seated. Now, once I come up here, now I want you to grab either that t-shirt or that towel that you guys have, or the yoga strap, or ideally, if you have one, you're using your power circle, okay? I'm going to use the power circle as I do this, but I'm going to alternate between each repetition that we do. So if you're doing that, you can alternate. If you do not have anything that I'm telling you about right now, that's okay. You have your arms out in front and you're imagining that you have something out there, okay? All right, so our arms are out there in space. My heels are together. My toes are apart. I slide my shoulders down my back. I lift up really, really tall. And now I begin rounding down towards my mat. Okay, so I'm rounding all the way down. And we're just gonna do a few roll-ups right here. Just regular classical roll-ups. Lift the arms up overhead. As I exhale, bring the arms up to the ceiling. I round to lift all the way up to seated. I'm going to stretch forward, look into my belly button. It is not a forward fold. I'm not collapsing from my rib cage. I'm lifting from my rib cage. Slide the shoulders down. I like to stack up tall between each repetition we do. So stack, lift all the way up, then round back from your low belly first. Middle belly, keep the ribs pulling in. Keep lowering down. Head hits, arms lift up and overhead. And let's just do one more like this one. Rounding, slide your shoulders down your back. Stack up tall, and last one. Before we add on. Arms up and overhead. Exhale, curl chin to chest, to round and lift all the way. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. I need to figure out how to turn that off. Sorry. Back out in front. Good. Now lifting up really, really tall, shoulders stay down. If anyone knows how to do that, if you could tell me after, that would be wonderful, please. Stacking up really, really tall. We are going to curl our pelvis under 1 inch, and I want you to pause. Slightly externally rotate your legs. So I want your heels together and your toes apart. Again, curl under 1 inch down and pause. Deep breath in again. Long exhale, curl under 1 inch under and pause. Deep breath in. Curl under 1 inch and then pause. Deep breath. Curl under another inch and pause. Deep breath in. Curl under another inch and pause. You're about 75% of the way down. Deep breath in. Curl under another inch and pause. You should be almost at your shoulder blades. Deep breath in. Curl 1 more inch, you're at your shoulder blades. Deep breath in. Curl and round all the way down. Deep breath in with the arms up and overhead. As we exhale, we round to lift all the way up to seated. Now, if anyone has any adversities to this, you can always hold on to the sides of your legs. Your arms do not need to be out in front as we do this. The hands down with the legs are going to support us. Now, again, we're going to add on, okay? So arms are out in front. If you have a circle, you're going to do little squeezes of the circle now on each of those inches down. If you have a shirt or a band, you're going to pull that band apart as we do this, okay? So arms are back out in front, shoulders stay down, curl under 1 inch, and pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Another inch down, pause. If you are pulling it apart, or if you are creating resistance between your own hands, you don't have one, I want you to think about your pinkies are pulling into air in front of you. Or if we're pulling apart, we're still trying to pull apart from that bottom side, underneath our armpits right here, not our chest, our lats, okay? Keep going, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Another inch, pulse, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Another inch, pulse, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more times, hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1 more inch, hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll all the way down to the mat. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, curling chin to chest to round all the way up to seated. We're going to do that 1 more time before we move on. So either with the band or with the shirt or with the circle or with nothing. All of it we can do all together right here, okay? So stacking up really tall. Curl under 1 inch. If you're holding that shirt or holding that towel, pull it apart. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Another inch. Pull it apart. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Another inch. Pull it apart. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Another inch. Pull it apart. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Another inch. Hold there. Pull it apart. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1 more inch. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way down to the mat. You're now going to either keep holding your circle or your loop or whatever it is, your shirt, and you're now going to hook the right ball of your foot around it. Okay, so it doesn't matter what it is, if it's a band, your circle, or your shirt. If you don't have anything I'm telling you about right now, your hands are just going to go behind your thigh, okay? So no matter what we have, my left leg, we have a couple options. The more challenging option is for that left leg to go all the way straight out across the mat. Nicer option is to have that knee bent with my foot flat on the mat, okay? So either way, whatever we have looped around the ball of that right foot, we're just gonna start by bending that knee in towards your right armpit, give it a nice stretch in, and then extend it back up to the ceiling. Inhale, bend it in. Exhale, reach it up. Good. So again, we're just stretching those hamstrings just like we started with. Now I want you to extend that leg up to the ceiling and I want you to hold it there. I want you to curl up and look into your belly button. And now for this first one, and for this first one only, you're going to send that right leg as far away from your body as you can possibly get it. And you are going to use momentum to help you to lift. Okay, so I want you to keep that, that's the shirt or the band or the whatever behind the leg. And if your hand is behind your leg, that's okay too. Okay, so we're lifted up here. That right leg stays lifted. And you just begin rounding now back down to the mat, slowly with control. Now I want you to pause down here. Now, no more are we using this leg like a pendulum, okay? So it's not just gonna pull us up and rock us down. Now I want you to curl up, look into your belly button and pause. Now, instead of kind of sending that leg in order to send me up, I want you to think about we're softening our elbows. You're softening the knee if need be. And you're trying to not grip onto this shirt or this towel or this circle. And we're trying to lightly lift to come all the way up. Okay, so my foot isn't just kind of shoving into this in order to lift me up. Okay, I want it lightly in there. Okay, so we're lifting up and we're lowering down. When you lower slowly down, same concept, okay? So curling up, looking into the belly button again. Now light hands, we're not using this leg like a pendulum to lift this back up. Up there again, light hands on whatever you're holding, okay? I don't want you kind of really gripping hard in there. And lowering back down. Let's do one more like that, curling up. Lifting up. I want you to stay lifted because we're going to add on now. So for a second, I want you to put your shirt or your circle or your strap down. My hands are going to go behind my right thigh. I'm lifted up really tall, okay? So I'm not sinking down. My back isn't puffing out behind me. I'm lifting up. I pull my thigh in towards my chest just so my foot is hovered a couple inches off of the mat. I keep my thigh bone where it is, and I extend and bend that leg. So I extend my shin bone and then I bend it. Now notice that my thigh bone or your thigh bone right now is not moving. The only thing moving is your shin bone. Okay, let's just do one more. Now we're going to extend the leg straight and it's going to stay straight. Good. Now both hands are going to go around my calf or all the way to my ankle, depending upon flexibility. You round back just a little bit, and I want you to roll your ankle out. Okay, so we're just rolling the ankle out. Good. And now you reverse it. Let's just do a couple more. Relax your shoulders. And now you bend the knee. And I want you to grab back onto that strap or back onto the circle or back onto the shirt you had or the towel that you had before. If you do not have one, that's okay. I'll explain that as we go. The shirt is going to go behind my leg now. Okay, so the shirt or the towel or the strap or even the circle is just going to go right behind my leg. Okay, if you do not have one, just hold on to your leg. Okay, so now with that leg back there, lift that right knee up. If you have it bent, it's going to be nicer. If you have it straight, it is going to be harder. Okay, we're going to be lowering now down to the mat while you hold that towel or that strap behind the leg. My head hits down. I curl back up. If my strap or my towel is against my thigh right now, if my thigh is pressing into it, it is going to be a lot nicer for you to come all the way up right here, okay? Now again, out in space, ideally that towel or that circle does not touch your leg as you do this, okay? So we're lowering all the way down there. Bring that leg into your chest a little bit more. Curl back up to look into the belly button and round to lift all the way up to seated. Okay, let's do one more like that. Lowering down. Slightly externally rotate your right leg. Exhale back up to seated. And you're going to bend that knee. We're going to put our circle down or our towel down for a second. And now we're going to, so this is climbing our tree. We're going to climb the whole tree now. Okay, so my hands are behind my thigh again, my right thigh. I pull that knee into my, I extend that leg up to the ceiling. Both hands are around my calf or around my ankle. I slide my shoulders down my back and I walk the hands down the leg. My head hits down. I take a deep breath in. Exhale, you curl chin to chest and round to lift all the way up to seated. You climb your hands up that leg. If you cannot climb all the way up the leg, just go about halfway up. And it's always fine to use our leg as help right here, okay? So we don't need to use all of our abs all at once, okay? So we can use our hands to support us. If you want to make it more challenging, those hands are lighter, okay? Walking back down. And let's just do one more. Exhaling all the way up. I want you to stay all the way up right here. Hold up here, keep that leg up there. You're going to extend now your right arm out in front of you towards your leg. Good. Now your left arm goes out there. Hold that leg, keep it lifted. Good, keep it up there. Deep breath all the way in. Keep lifting from your low back. Don't let your low back sink down to the mat. And slowly round all the way down to the mat. Hug your right knee into your chest. Give it a stretch again. My hands go down on either side of me onto the mat. I extend my right leg straight up to the ceiling. I lower it down to the mat. I pick my left leg up to the ceiling. I now start on my left side, okay? So I'm either grabbing onto the power circle, hooking it onto the ball of my foot, or that strap, or that shirt, and we're just starting right again on the other side. So just bend the knee into your chest, give it a nice stretch in right there, and extend it up to the ceiling. Get that nice stretch of your hamstring, maybe of your calf. Bend and straighten, okay? So this should just feel nice, you guys. Don't force your body into any positions that are painful, okay? So don't move into pain. Let's do one more. Now keeping the leg up to the ceiling. Slide the shoulders down your back. Try to widen your collarbones and chest as much as possible. If that means you need to bend your left knee a little bit more, that's okay, okay? Now, curling up, looking into the belly button, I want you to pause. For this one and for this one only, you can use this leg in this circle or your band like a pendulum, okay? So send the leg all the way away from the body, and we should be able to come up really, really easily, okay? So up really tall and lowering back down again. Now pause once we're down there on the mat for a second, okay? I want you to feel the difference between the one you just did and this next one, okay? That first one that we just did isn't gonna hurt you, but it's what I don't want you to do. It makes it a little bit nicer, okay? So we're curled up looking into your belly button. Now my hands are light on the circle or on the band around. And now we're lifting up all from that belly to try to lift us all the way to come up to seated, okay? So keep the leg lifted. Try to make sure that if you have the circle, it's not breaking in two out there. Try to really think about lifting and light hands. All the way down to the mat. Head hits down, deep breath in again. Exhale, rounding up. Good. Try to not lift like a pendulum. Up there, stay lifted. Remember to relax your shoulders and round back down. And one more, all the way up. Use that belly to lift us all the way up there. Stay up there. We're going to put the circle or the band down for a second. Good. We're seated. Both hands are going to go behind your left thigh. You're going to hover that heel maybe a couple inches off of the mat. And all we're going to do is extend and then bend that leg. Try to make sure that both sides of your sits bones are evenly down the mat right now. I'm not leaning towards my right side or to my left side. Also try to make sure to look down. Your ankle, your knee, and your sits bone are all in line right here. I'm not having my ankle come further into my center line and not further out to the outside. One more time. Extend that leg out. Now I do get to rock back, or not just me, you guys, we all get to round back a little bit right here. Hands around my calf or all the way to the ankle, and then we're going to now roll your ankle out. Good. And now just reverse it. Should just feel nice on the leg, on the ankle, on the foot. Now pause, and we're going to either grab onto the circle or onto the shirt or onto the towel or onto the band. That's going to go behind your leg. Your left leg is going to go straight out there in space, or you can bend it if you want to be nicer, okay? Now keeping it out there, we're going to round all the way down to the mat. Sink your left hip bone down so it's in line with your right. Now your right leg is going to want to drift out to your right. Keep it in the center line. Head hits down. Exhale, curl back up and round to lift all the way up. Ooh. Good. Once we're up there, we go back down again. Good. Lowering down. Now remember, with this circle right here, if the circle or the whatever that's behind your leg is pressed into your leg, it's going to make it harder. If you try to reach that circle towards the wall in front of you or away from you, it makes it harder. Okay, one more time. lowering down. Exhale, lifting back up. Good. We're going to put that circle down and we're going to climb the tree now. Okay. So that leg is going to go out there in space again. It's going to extend straight out there, hands around your calf or up to your ankle, shoulders stay down, round back there towards the mat in space. Then walk your hands down your leg as you lower the upper body down. Head hits for a split second. I curl back up and I walk my hands up my leg. Okay, I want you guys to keep going. Light hands onto your leg. Okay, so light hands, no white knuckling it. Exhale, lifting. If you want to make it really challenging, those hands can both come away as we lift and as we lower. Okay, one more time. All the way down and all the way up. Last time. I want you to lift up here and hold up here for a second. Stay up here. Good. Now my left hand is going to come away straight out to the wall in front of me. My right arm's going to come away. Hold that leg there. If you need to bend it, that's okay. Keep holding it there. Keep on holding. 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower down to the mat now, all the way down. Hug both knees into your chest. Give them a nice stretch in. I just want you to rock from side to side for a second, okay? I think I've said this on some of my earlier classes. I do write down what we do because my brain, I feel like, is a little bit off. All right, perfect. We are going to grab onto our circles again. Your knees are going to be bent. My feet are flat down on the mat. And again, if you don't have a circle, you are just grabbing onto your band or your towel or your shirt. And if you don't have one, that's okay. You don't need one, okay? So fingertips up to the ceiling, whatever that is that we have. And I want you either, if you have a circle or a yoga block, you're pressing into it right here, okay? When you're pressing into it, and also if you have nothing, this is what you're doing too, okay? You're imagining it, you're holding something out there in space in front of you, okay? We're holding that something. Now, if you have a shirt or a band, I want you to be pulling that apart, okay? When you're pulling it apart, don't white knuckle onto it, but pull it apart lightly by pulling out from your pinky sides, okay? So this all comes from those the pinky sides of our hands. And I want you just to lower your band or your circle all the way down to your hips. Then just reach it up and overhead towards the back of the rib. When you reach it up and overhead, think about what's going on with those ribs. Like we talked about, they're not splaying out. They're staying knitted all the way in and down, flush with the body. Lowering the circle down, picking it back up. Now make sure that you keep your ribs down. Make sure you keep your belly button pulling into your spine. We're not puffing that belly button up to the ceiling. And you keep your ribs flush down with your body. And let's do 2 more. And back. And one more time, slowly going up, slowly feeling where your shoulder blades are, slowly feeling where your ribs are. Try to keep those ribs and your shoulder blades where they are the entire time. Now, bend your elbows, put your circle or your thing down for a second, okay? So put it down, but I want you to keep it handy. We're going to go through our abs series, just the regular way we always do it, and then we are gonna go through it again using some fun variations, okay? So both knees are pulled up into tabletop. Your right hand goes onto your right ankle, left hand goes onto your right knee, my left leg goes straight out in space. Ankle, knee, and sits bones are all in line. I don't want you to be able to see your ankle. Switch once, pause. Good, again, check in. Can you see your ankle? Nope, switch again. Good, keep switching. Keep switching. When that thigh comes in towards your chest, I want you to think it's your low belly pulling it in. It is not because my hands are yanking my leg into my chest. Keep on going. 2 more. Last one. Rest all the way down for a second, okay? We are going to get a rest for a split second in between each of this series of 5, okay? My heels are now together. My knees are hip distance apart. My hands are on top of my shins. You curl up, look into your belly button. Keep your shoulders down away from your ears. Arms and legs both go long. Exhale, circle the arms around. Pull the knees into the chest. Inhale out. Exhale around. When those legs go straight, make sure that we're not allowing our back to arch at all. Let's do 2 more. 1 more. And rest all the way down for a second. Both legs are now going to go up to the ceiling. Both of your hands are going to clasp around your right calf. You curl up, look into your belly button. Your left leg lowers just down to the 45. Not all the way down there, hovered across the mat. I want you not to lower it very low this morning, okay? We're going to pulse that right leg twice towards you. Pulse, pulse, then switch. Good, keep looking straight into your belly button. Keep switching those legs. Now I want light hands on this, okay? Really, really light hands. You are not, again, white knuckling on your leg to be doing this. Really, really light. Try to reach your hands up higher on your calf. One more. Rest all the way down for a second. Double leg lower lift. Both legs go straight up to the ceiling. Heels are together, toes are apart, hands behind your head. You curl up to look into your belly button. You take a deep breath in as you inhale. And you keep inhaling as you keep lowering those legs towards the wall in front of you for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, lift them back up to the ceiling on 1. You lower, you keep the pelvis where it is. You reach your thigh bones further out and away from your pelvis as you lower. You exhale to lift. Try to think about hips to head stays the same. It's just those legs lowering. 3, 2, 1. Exhale up. Now, of course, the lower we go, the more challenging it's going to be, but that does not need to mean you need to go down very far. One more time. Exhale, lift. Rest all the way down for a second. Oh, it's hard talking while you guys do this. You guys want to talk at home too while you do this. It makes it a little bit more challenging. All right, now my hands are going to go behind my head, crisscross. Knees are up into tabletop. Curl up, look into the belly button. Twist over to your right and extend your left leg straight. Good. Come up to center as both knees come back into tabletop and go to the other side. Extend that leg straight. Come back to center. Pause in center. Lift up a little bit higher from your belly. Twist to the opposite way. Exhale. Inhale as you scrape center and the opposite way. Take out that pause in center, but I want you to still come up higher every single time you twist. Keep going. Try to lift up and off of your shoulder blades. Don't just rock from side to side. Anchor yourself down through that belly button, down to the mat. Keep on going. We have 4 more. 3, 2, last one. Rest leg down. Arms and legs are both going to go long in opposition of one another. Give them a stretch for a second. And now we're going to turn over onto our stomachs, just for a little bit of swan before we go back into this fun, same series with a little bit of variations, okay? So all the way onto your stomach. My hips are down, my hands are going to go down underneath my armpits. Your forehead is going to go down onto the mat, okay? You're looking at me do this. I am going to be looking at the screen, okay? So don't follow what I'm doing in that aspect, okay? Now, before I start moving, I'm going to think about where my spine is down the mat right now, okay? I want you to elongate everything, okay? Palms underneath your armpits. Your elbows are narrow into your body. Now extend your toes long out across the mat and try to send the very crown of your head, the tallest point of your body, away from you towards the wall, okay? So really reach from your ribs to your hips and feel how that engages kind of our side glutes right here. Now again, we're not clenching onto the bottom. We're just thinking about the our glute medius out there is lightly turning on, okay? Now before we lift up into our swan, I want you to gather your ribs together, pull your ribs in, sink your pubic bone or your pelvis down towards the mat a little bit more. Now stay elongated and begin hovering your forehead about an inch off of the mat. Really think about that elongation of the spine. And a little bit higher, a little bit more. Keep the ribs pulling in, keep the belly pulling in. Try to lift up. Look at that wall out in front of you. Good, not all the way up the wall, but kind of at the floorboard crease. Now lower all the way down with control. Good, and again, reach and elongate. Good, and begin lifting. Lifting, swanning the chest forward, pull your ribs in. Make sure that the belly stays pulling in. Pull those ribs all the way in. Don't let the ribs pull straight out in front of you. Good, press up a little bit more. Use your hands down into the mat, and then lower down with control. And let's do 2 more of those. Again, elongate the spine, elongate the back of the neck before we lift up. Then begin lifting up into that swan. You swan that chest all the way forward. Looking forward, stay up there. Keep your hands down to the mat. Look over to your right. Neck roll, chin to chest, down towards the mat. Over to your left, back to center. Pull the ribs in a little bit more. Then lower down with control. Exhale. One more time. Elongate the spine. Lift up into that swan. Look over to your left first. Neck roll, chin to chest, around to your right. Back to center. Reach up a little bit more from your belly. And lower down. And sit back into child's pose. Bottom on top of the heels. Reach the hands forward. Keep your forehead down on the mat. Good, all the way down. And you're just going to walk both hands over to the right side of your mat and hang out there for just a second. Let's take a deep breath in and a long exhale. Walk your hands to the left now. Keep them over there. Good. Deep breath all the way in. Long. Good. All right, we're going to lie back down the mat just like how we just were. So lying all the way down, you are going to grab your circle, your shirt, or your band, okay? It's going to come with you. All right, now if I have my circle, all I'm doing is I am looping that circle behind my head like a halo, okay? So if you're, you can see the screen right now, I'm doing it, okay? So it's like a halo. You're gonna hold on to the squishy sides. You have an option midway through, if you don't like it like this, that you can put your hands up onto the squishy side in front of you so that your hands are right in front of your forehead, okay? Now, if you have your shirt or your yoga loop, the same thing is just going to happen. You're just going to loop it onto the back of your head like that, okay? So just onto the back of your head, and your hands are holding on to the sides of it, okay? So we're going to lie all the way down. So we're lying flat down on the mat. That yoga loop, the towel or the shirt is right there. If you don't have any of these, your hands are just going to go behind your head, okay? So your hands are just going behind the head just like we normally do, and that's totally fine, okay? So not a big deal. All right, now first we're just going to start. Keep your feet flat onto the mat. All we're going to do is keep the hands onto that circle or onto your loop, and you exhale to curl up, look into the belly button, and you just inhale to lower back down. Now, as you do this, this is kind of a balancing act. I want you to keep going, okay? I want you to keep going, do a few more of these. Keep curling up, looking into that belly button, and keep lowering down. Okay, so it's kind of a balancing act in that we have to find where we're not yanking on our neck. I don't want you yanking on your head in order to lift up. We still are using our belly. We're still exhaling up using that core, but we're also using our arms. You should feel it a little bit in your triceps and a little bit in your biceps, okay? If you want it to be a little bit less, try to use your belly a little bit more rather than kind of using your arms to pull you up, okay? One more time. We're curled up. I want you to stay up. Pick your right knee up into tabletop. Pick your left knee up into tabletop. You now extend your left leg straight. Hold it there. Good. You switch legs. You breathe. Every time you pull in, pull that thigh in towards your chest a little bit more. Make your belly work. The lower that leg goes out there in space, the more challenging it's going to be. Let's do 3 more. 2. Last one. Rest all the way in. You're going to unloop your circle or your band from behind your head, and you're just going to hold it between your arms now, okay? So if we have the circle, we're holding it. If you have the loop or the shirt or the towel, you're pulling it apart. Your knees are up in the tabletop, your heels are together, your toes are apart. You curl up into your belly button. You send that strap or that circle now down over your shins out there. I want you to lower your head as you lift your arms. Again, exhale, curl up, look out there, lower back down. Okay, 2 more. And down. 1 more time. And down. Good, we're adding on again now. Okay, if your neck gets tired at any point during this, you can always lower your head down to the mat. Now we're curled up, looking into the belly button. Keep those knees in tabletop. Now this time your arms and legs are going to go long as you inhale. Exhale, pull the knees in, send that circle or that loop down over your shins. Inhale out, exhale, pull back in. Stay lifted a belly button the entire time. We have 2 more after this one. Good job, you guys. Inhale and exhale. Last one. And rest all the way down for a second. Now, holding on again to the circle or the loop, that's going to loop back behind your head again, just like how we started with it, okay? Like that for that last exercise. Now, my legs are going to go up to the ceiling, and I curl up to look into the belly button. I'm going to lower just my right leg down to the 45. I exhale to pick it back up to the ceiling. Left leg lowers down. I pick it back up. Again, down with the right leg. Exhale, lift. Down with the left leg. Pick it back up. Now you have a choice. You can keep going like that, or you can lower the right leg down. You can scissor those legs together. The lower they brush past one another, the more challenging it's going to be, okay? Or you can keep it like how we were just doing it. Choice is up to you, but you keep on going. Keep breathing. 4 more. Slowly. Don't let your back go. If you start feeling this in your back, regress back to that easier one. And rest. Okay. All right, now we're going to get rid of the strap again for a second. So the strap is going to go away. Good. My hands are going to go behind my head. We're curled up looking into our belly button. Now, instead of crisscross, we're not going to do crisscross with this. We're going to make this into 2 exercises, okay? So my legs are going to go up to the ceiling again. I'm going to lower my legs a little bit lower than the 45. Then I get to bend them into my chest. I do not lift them back up to the ceiling. Inhale to lift the legs. Keep inhaling as we lower. Exhale, pull them back and into your chest. Now, the lower you go with your legs, the more challenging it's going to be, okay? They do not need to lower that much. And also, if you want it to make it nicer, you can keep those knees slightly soft or bent. And exhale into the chest 1 more time. And rest all the way down for a second. Hug those knees into your chest. And we're gonna do the same thing, but it's reversed now, okay? So my knees are up, or your knees are up in the tabletop, hands behind the head, curling up, looking into the belly button. This time, send those legs straight out in space. Exhale, pick them up to the ceiling, bend them back and into your chest. Again, out, exhale, and in. Out, don't let the back arch when those legs go out and back in. Let's do 3 more. 3 more, we got this. Last one. Bend the knees in, rest all the way down. Hug those knees into your chest. Good. Now, we're going to come all the way up to seated, and you're going to grab onto your circle or your loop or your towel, okay? Now, from here, we're going to keep it, we're going to have the knees bent, and this is going to be a little bit like that tree one that we started with from the beginning, but we're going to go into teaser with it versus the tree, of course, okay? So, you have your circle or your loop. We're just going to hook that circle and with the right ball of your foot, and I want the right ball of your foot a little bit out to the side of where the squishy part is versus all the way into center, because we're going to stick both feet in there. And same thing goes with your loop, okay, or your shirt or your towel, okay? If you don't have one, put your hands behind your thighs, keep them behind your thighs, okay? So up really, really tall. Good, out there. Good. Lower down a little bit past your sits bones. So we're still lifted. We're just about halfway down to the mat, okay? Now I'm also going to put my left ball of the foot through this strap or through your shirt or through your circle, okay? So we're up here making a V. It's a very supported, nice teaser right here. Don't worry, we'll make it harder, okay? So we're going to keep those legs out there, and I'm going to kind of just let a little bit of tension go on the sides of it as I lower back down. My legs are going to go up to the ceiling with me as I lower back down, okay? So my legs are up there in space. I'm curled back up. looking into the belly button. Good, and now my legs go out in front of me, and I'm going to lift all the way up to my teaser, okay? So all the way up there. It's a very nice way of doing teaser, okay? So keeping those legs straight out there, holding on to the circle or holding on to the loops. Again, I'm going to do the same thing, lowering down. Okay, my knees are going to bend just a little bit, coming in as I lower down. And as I curl back up, it's okay if the knees are bent. We're just kind of using this guy to help us lift up here in space. Okay, it makes it a lot nicer. Now hold up here, all the way up to seated. I want you to bend your knees, both feet go flat down, and now you get rid of this loop or the whatever you have. Okay, now my hands are going to go behind my thighs. I'm lifted up really, really tall. You relax your shoulders away from your ears. You begin rounding down about a quarter of the way down to the mat. Now pause here. Make sure your knees and your ankles are separated. You're going to extend your right leg up in space. Lower it down and extend your left leg up in space. And lower it down. Keep on going, okay? So keep on alternating, lifting and then lowering. Make sure that you're lifted really high up away from out of your low back, okay? We're not dumping our low back down. Good, one more time. Keep that right leg up now. Keep it up there. If you want to make this more challenging, both hands are going to come out on a diagonal parallel with your leg, okay? You're going to lower down. If you want to keep your hands onto the sides of your legs, that's fine also. You lower down, your head hits, you curl immediately back up to lift all the way back up there, up to that seated position. Lift those arms up and overhead towards the ceiling. Back into that position with the arms parallel to the legs. Lower back down. Head hits. You come immediately back up. Lift those arms up there. One more time. Try to keep your knees parallel to each other also. Don't let that right leg lower down or lift higher. Stay up there. Switch legs. Good. Hold there. Do the same thing. Lower back down. We have 3 to go. Use your exhale. Use your breath to help you lift up. No momentum here, you guys. Nice and slow. Lowering down, lifting back up. Good. Once you reach up, reach those arms up to fingertips up to the ceiling. Back down to parallel. One more time. Lift back up. Hold up there. Good. Now, if we can, without putting the hands behind the legs, you can always put the hands behind the legs, but we're going to have both legs reach out there in space. Good. Hold your teaser. Keep on holding for 3, 2, 1. Hands behind the knees. Bend your knees. Come forward. Stay all the way up on your sits. Yep, on your bottom. Have your knees butterfly out to the sides. Hands on your ankles, and just round and stretch forward. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Let's do one more deep breath right here. Deep breath in. Long exhale. All right, stacking up tall. We're going to move our bottoms towards the front of our mat right now to end with seal, okay? So all the way forward. I'm gonna have my knees framing my chest, but no wider, okay? So they're not out in that butterfly position we just did. My hands are going to come into prayer hands. You're going to dive your hands between your legs. You wrap your palms around the tops of your feet, and you end up with your toes together and your heels apart, and you rock back onto your sits bones a little bit, okay? Pause here for a second. Make sure your knees are narrow, not really wide, okay? They do stay narrow without allowing your chest to cave in, okay? Now you're going to tap your toes together 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Then you roll all the way back to your shoulder blades, then all the way back up again, okay? Keep tapping. 1, 2, 3. Rolling back, lifting back up. Good, let's do one more like this one before we add on. Good, now this time when you go back, I want you to tap the whole time you go back and the whole time you lift, okay? So 3 taps back, 3 taps up. Good, back and then forward. It's kind of a balancing act of not using a ton of momentum, that we're flinging ourselves, okay? We're not using a ton of momentum. We're trying to think about, it's our belly that's helping us to lift back up also. One more time like this before we add our final add-on. Good, pause up on those sits bones. This time you are going to go back there. Once the ankles reach up and overhead, you are going to unclasp your feet, cross your ankles, and we're going to try to come all the way up to standing at the end, okay? When I say try, we do not have to make it all the way up there, okay? That's okay if we have to use assistance to get us up, okay? But let's give it a try, okay? So 1, 2, 3. We go back, we unclasp, we cross our ankles, we use a little bit of momentum to get us all the way up to standing. And ta-da! We are all done. I hope everyone has a fabulous Tuesday and a great rest of your week. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I will see you guys next Tuesday.